Hi guys, Elias McCollum, the Bitterroot Bard here, back for another video. It is January the 3rd, Saturday, and today I want to tell you the story of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Now, it was about this time of year, it was around Christmas time, in Camelot. And King Arthur and his knights, lords and ladies, were feasting in the great hall. And back in those times, there was 12 days of Christmas. So there was December 25th, and the Christmas festivities extended out to January the 5th, which is known as Epiphany, which was supposed to be symbolic of the day that the three wise men arrived at the house where Joseph and Mary and the baby Jesus were living. At that time, Jesus was about 2 years old, so he wasn't quite a little baby, an infant, but he was a young toddler. But anyways, so the Christmas festivities extended from December 25th to January, or December 25th to January 5th, and it was New Year's Day. They were feasting in Camelot when a man on a green charger came riding into the hall. Now his stallion was all of bright green, and he himself was olive green. He bore in one hand a bunch of holly, and in the other hand he bore a great axe, similar to a Dane's axe, you might say. And he put forth the challenge. He said, "I've heard of the chivalry of the Knights of the Round Table, and I've come to test it. If any be so brave, so bold, so gallant and chivalrous, to take this axe and give me a blow unopposed on the neck, and to receive a blow in return." Now King Arthur thought this was quite a foolish game, and he was ready to take up the axe and hew the head off the Green Knight, put an end to the whole affair. But Sir Gawain, nephew to the king and of Queen Guinevere, he feared for his uncle's death, because we're talking about the time of the Arthurian court, and Sir Gawain, the most brave and gallant of knights and most humble of knights, suspected magic was involved. So in order that he might save the king's life, he offered to take up the challenge. Arthur, still deeming it a foolish game, said, "Thou hast but one blow. Deliver it well, and I deem that thou shalt endure whatever blow he may give thee hereafter." So Sir Gawain takes up the axe, and the Green Knight kneels before him and lays bare his neck to receive the edge of the axe heft. And So Gawain delivers a deadly blow, lops the Green Knight's head clean off his shoulders. However, the body of the Green Knight continues to be alive, and he steps forward and picks up his own head in his hand, and the eyelids in the head lift up, and then he speaks through his lopped off head, through the mouth of his lopped off head, and says he commends Gawain for taking up the challenge and commends his bravery and his gallantry. And he tells him to seek out the Green Chapel by New Year's Day next year, that he might receive the payment for his deed. So time goes on, and the seasons pass. Summer comes and goes. Then comes fall and the feast of All Hallows. And that passes until at last winter finally comes upon the land. Sir Gawain, a loyal knight, desiring to be faithful to his tryst, to the vow that he made to the Green Knight, the challenge that he has taken, girds on his harness, takes up his knightly weapons, his sword, his lance, and heads out searching for the Green Chapel. He's journeyed many days over fen, through forest, through the moors, and over mountain, searching for the Green Chapel. And at last, in a forest, he comes upon an enchanting castle. The castle of Sir Badalac. Now, needing food and shelter, he hopes that he might find rest and refreshment at this lovely castle. So, approaching the gate, he lays down his arms and declares his friendship and fealty. He's brought into the castle and enjoys much hospitality, feasting, and courtly love. He's enchanted. He's so enchanted by the lady of the house, Sir Badalac's wife, that he, in courtly courtesy of England at the time, or Britain, should say, rather Britain, courtly courtesy, he vows a vow to the lady of the house that he will be her servant and be obedient to her will. And Sir Badalac uh, binds Sir Gawain in a troth to enjoy whatever his court can provide, but that he will take nothing for himself away from the castle. Now, Sir Badalac enjoyed to hunt, and he was out many days hunting with the nobility of his house, with the men of his house. He was out with the hounds enjoying the hunt for many days. But because Sir Gawain swore servitude and obedience to the lady, he remained in the castle to wait upon her. Now, many days she talked with him and kissed him with courtly love that was acceptable at the time. And as time went on, she, day after day, tempted him to go further and commit the sin of adultery. Now Sir Gawain became conflicted between his courtesy and his morality. And as she pressed him, he didn't wish to offend her or speak unkindly to her, but he, as courteously and as graciously as he knew how, he refused her enticement to sin and to betray the trust of Sir Badalac, as well as against God. Well, time went on, day by day, and she continued to press him. And there's a few times he came close to actually giving in and falling, but by the grace of God, he refused the enticement and the temptation. Soon the time came for him to depart from the castle and to seek out the Green Chapel. Well, again, the lady of the house entreated him to make love to her. This time, he boldly refused, and then appearing offended, she offered him a sash that she said he might take some of her favor with him, and that it would protect whoever wore it from any kind of blow. Well, Sir Gawain, keen to have some protection, for he feared that the blow he would receive from the Green Knight would surely take his life, and not wishing to further offend the lady, he took the sash. And the lady of the house, the wife of Sir Badalac, made him vow to hide it from her husband. So the next morning, Sir Gawain departed again, seeking out the Green Chapel. Sir Badalac also sent an escort with him, to show him where the Green Chapel was. And this escort, with love for Sir Gawain, tried to dissuade him from going to the Green Chapel, that he might not lose his life. But Sir Gawain, being an honest and loyal to his trust, declared that he had been bound in a tryst and would not break it. So the escort, seeing he could not dissuade the good knight, left him. Now Sir Gawain walked from the forest to an open hillside down into the valley. And there he saw a great green mound. We might call it a barrow. Such an evil place he thought it. He did not desire to enter the Green Chapel. But there outside the chapel, the Green Knight appeared. The Green Knight declared himself to be the same lord of the castle, Sir Badalac, and that it was by his design that he be tempted and that he be tried to see if he is truly as chivalrous and as morally upright as he claimed to be. He commended Sir Gawain, saying, "Thou hast been perfect in every way, but there is one fault yet found in thee, and that thou took the girdle from my wife and brought it with thee, and kept that knowledge from me. Here now receive my blow as a rebuke for thy fault." So Sir Gawain, bending down on his knees, laid bare his neck, prepared to receive the blow. As the Green Knight begun to bring the axe down towards his neck, he flinched. The Green Knight rebuked him, said, "I received thy blow willingly and without flinching. Yet thou hast flinched. Where now is the courage in thine heart?" So Sir Gawain bowed again, and unflinching received a blow. However, the Green Knight only left a small cut upon his neck and said, "Take that for thy rebuke for thy fault, and bear that, and remember and learn the lesson which thou hast been taught this day." So Sir Gawain repented, confessing his fault, and yet declared that he would yet bear the girdle about his loins as a reminder of his fault, that he might strengthen that weakness which was within him. So we see here, from this story, we see a lesson that chivalry and court and courtesy is often foolishness. People, we don't have this code so much today. We do, as gentlemen, endeavor to live by a chivalrous code, but it's not quite the same as what it was in Arthur's time and in the throughout the Middle Ages. But the lesson we get from this story is that human manners often conflict with morality. We're so afraid many times of offending others that we avoid speaking the truth or avoid standing for the truth. And oftentimes we make foolish vows or foolish promises, fulfill with people, and then we find later that might conflict with the higher law of morality, God's law. So the lesson we want to learn from this story today is that we keep God's law in the highest regard and don't allow the human customs and manners to weaken our integrity. So I hope you enjoyed this story today. I hope that you continue to read the stories of the past, draw wisdom with them from which you can shape the story of your future. God bless.